Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and this is a really soothing moment right here because it's actually raining outside, so I'm really in the mood for some horror lists, because this was one of those lists which I've been talking about for quite some time now, but I just didn't get to it for some reason. So yeah, finally I'm gonna start with this like little series or whatever. I mean, this could change from time to time. I mean, I just picked this list which I had on IMDb, where I actually count down like the top 10 movies of 1980, and then I'm gonna move forward to top 10 of 1981 and top 10 of 1983, and so on and so on. Well, this video is going to be about my top 10 favorite horror films that came out in 1980, so to say. And yeah, like probably all of you know, the 80s is probably my favorite decade when it comes to movies in general. And I just decided, well, why the hell not? Should I make like a top 10 list about each year, where the movies that I enjoy the most from each specific year in the 80s. So yeah, and like I said, this list might not be as relevant. I mean, that sounds really weird, but I mean, you watch new movies like over and over and over again. Not over again, but you watch newer films that you haven't seen before that might have ended up on this list. So this list might not look the same in like 1 month, 2 months, or like maybe 1 year. So yeah, what the hell? What should you do? Well, now enough about the background thing about this video or like these videos. Now let's begin with the top 10 list. And at number 10 from the 1980s, not 1980s, but from 1980, the year 1980, at number 10 we have He Knows You're Alone. I'm really glad to have this on DVD, because apparently this DVD is like ridiculously hard to come across these days, or so I've been told. The story is very, very simple. It's basically about this like bride. She's about to have her wedding, but of course she's stalked by a killer, and you don't know who the killer is or anything like that. And it's your typical slasher story. Nothing too special, nothing like spectacular out there, but I just love the overall feeling to this film, the atmosphere, and some of the acting. And also, this is the first movie that Tom Hanks ever starred in. I mean, he has a very small role, so it doesn't say that much, but so it's more like a side character sort of, because I don't think he has that long of a screen time to begin with. But yeah, overall this was a good film in my opinion, and I think more people should give it a chance and check it out. So yeah, He Knows You're Alone. Then at number 9 is another film which I think is very underrated. Maybe not underrated, but this could also be in one of my lists of like long gone, forgotten, overlooked films in general, because I don't hear a whole lot of people talk about this one. But the movie is Fade to Black. It's basically about this, if I remember correctly, this guy is like a movie buff, so he really loves movies, and he pretty much, I mean, this is not really a big spoiler or anything, but he basically like just dresses up like as some of these like movie characters, and he kills people. So it's more like a character study of him, so you pretty much know from the beginning who the killer is. I mean, this is just what I remember, but yeah, I think this might be the only way to get this film. I'm not too sure, but this is like a really old DVD release of it. So yeah, Fade to Black. If you haven't seen this one, really special type of film, very special type of mood as well, very hard to explain. But for those of you who have seen, you probably know what I'm talking about. So yeah, Fade to Black. Then let's see here, number 10, 9, 8. At number 8 we have a really, really good Lucio Fulci film called City of the Living Dead. This movie has been talked about so much on like internet or on YouTube in general. So great gore, really weird and creepy story about this priest who basically commits suicide, and he starts to haunt people, and they like die in so many weird ways. My favorite scene is probably the scene in the car where this woman gets like turned inside out, if that makes sense. I mean, that sounds really weird, but for those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about that specific scene. Like I said, like always with Lucius Fulci's films, films, they always have really great gore effects in his films, which is like probably the biggest like highlight of the film. I mean, the storyline in some of his films are just really weird and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but you always have the gore to look forward to. And I'm not saying that this storyline is bad or anything, I just think it's very special and very eerie throughout the entire film, and the priest is pretty damn scary from time to time. So yeah, City of the Living Dead, great film. If you haven't seen this one, and if you want to get more into Lucio Fulci's films, this one is a great start. Maybe not great start, but great film. So whatever. So yeah. Now I'm just mumbling here, so sorry for that. For some damn reason, I've always had problems with counting down here. 10, 9, 8, 7. And number 7 is, this is a really unrated creature feature film, in my opinion. I really love this. I know it has some cheesy and stupid parts in it, but yeah, I really like this. The movie is Alligator. I recently watched Alligator 2, The Mutation, I believe it was called. And damn, what a terrible film. That was a piece of garbage. But this one, the first one, is really good. And this is not to be confused with Sergio Martino's Alligator, which came out like 1 year before this one. This is the movie directed by Louis Teague, I guess his name is. Your typical your typical alligator story. This alligator is basically like really big because someone flushed it down the toilet when it was like just a small thing, and then they flushed it down, and I think it was something that it grew down there because they basically fed on small rats and stuff like that, and it's been like living underneath this like city and in the sewers for such a long time. So if I remember correctly, there's like a special force that's supposed to eliminate this alligator in some way. I mean, this is another film which I really need to rewatch as well. So, but there's a really funny scene, like a party scene, where this alligator just fucking kills everyone, which is really funny. No, I'm so like a damn psychopath when I said that, but yeah, that sequence is just hilarious. So yeah, Alligator at number 7, I guess. Yeah, then we have a number 6. This is probably, I can already hear people say, well, that's more of a thriller than a horror film, but I will still say it has that creepy factor. I just think it still has some of those horror elements to it. So, and that is Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill, with Michael Caine, Nancy Allen, and Angie Dickinson. This is, I would say, this is a film that you just should watch without ever like knowing anything about it beforehand, because the more you talk about it, the more you ruin the story, I would say. Yeah, is that Stacy Keach? No, it looked like Stacy Keach. I don't think it might be. I'm just so mumbling here, but yeah, the less you know about this film, I would say, the more you would enjoy it. So yeah, Dressed to Kill at number 6, I believe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah. And at number 5 we have Maniac. This is such a great like serial killer film, a really great slasher film. I mean, this guy, what's his name? Joe Spinell. Sorry, forgot that. Joe Spinell in this film is just, what a great performance. This is like probably his best performance. I actually prefer his performance in this over his performance in the Rocky films, or at least the 2. I think it was only in the 2 first Rocky films, if I remember correctly. But but anyway, Maniac, everyone knows about this one. And yeah, I'm really glad to have this edition of the film as well, because this has so many special features. I'm not really sure if you can say it here on the back, but just look at that. That's all the special features, there's just really that many. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, but yeah, this director also did another film called Maniac, which is just great as well, which I think I made like a review of like ages ago. So, but anyway, if you haven't seen Maniac and you're a fan of those slasher films from the early 80s, give it a shot. If you haven't seen it, go give it a shot right away. And at number 4 we have John Carpenter's The Fog. Everyone already knows about this one, but I have a really funny story about this. The first time, I mean, I've watched this several times before, but when I watched this with my mother, she had never seen it before, and we watched this film, and there's like this scene where all of the lights go out, and this like babysitter, I don't remember her name, Mrs. Kobritz, I believe, she's like babysitting for this young kid, and the kid's name is Andy, and there's like this scene which I didn't think about that when I watched it for the first time, but I just found it so hilarious the way she like delivers that line, and Andy says something about the lights, and I think Mrs. Corby says something like doing something with like a candle or something, and she basically says, "Some of the lights are probably down, Andy," and I just think that's hilarious. I mean, my mother really laughed out loud when she heard that, and I didn't think, I'm like, what's so funny? And then we rewinded and we listened to that dialogue again, and I just thought it was really hilarious as well. So, well, that was just something completely else, a stupid thing which doesn't really have that much to do with the film itself, but this is a really spooky film. I've heard that the remake is supposed to be a piece of garbage, and that's the reason why I haven't watched it. Because this is such a great film. This movie basically is atmosphere. The atmosphere in this is just so great, and could only have been made in the 80s, or at least it feels like it. But yeah, The Fog. And at number 3 we have probably my favorite out of these 3 films. This is like part of the trilogy. Is it the Mother's trilogy? I think it's called. Yeah, whatever. Dario Argento's Inferno. I actually prefer this one over Suspiria. I know most people probably prefer Suspiria over the rest, but Mother of Tears is probably the weakest, but I still like that film as well. But this one just has some special atmosphere to it, and this just feels so dirty and gritty in some of these sequences, and especially these like underwater sequences. They were just amazing. That still sticks in my mind, and the ending with all the flames and all that. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, damn, the way they filmed some of these sequences is just amazing in my opinion. And I think that's with other Dario Argento films as well, that some of the shots that he used in his films is just spectacular and really great and clever. So yeah, if you've seen Suspiria and you haven't seen Inferno, go ahead and check out Inferno. This is like my favorite out of the trilogy, and most people probably say Suspiria, but yeah, this is just my personal opinion. So yeah, Inferno. At number 3, oh damn, I really need to speed up now. At number 2, I mean, I can already see people like, how the hell can you put this film above all of these other great films? Well, this is just my opinion, and this is one of those films which sort of got me into horror to begin with, because I do remember, I think I watched it like in the middle of the night. They had like some marathon with at least the first 3 films or 4 films, even 5 films I believe, or maybe they showed like 2 or 3 films one evening, and then they showed the other 3 films. I'm not too sure, but something like that in the middle of the night when I was very, very young, and it was Friday the 13th, the original, of course. The thing is, this is not any near like a perfect film or anything. I think it's more of the nostalgic value to this film, which I really like, and this is such a great film. I mean, I could watch this like any time. I mean, I could watch it like, if I feel bad, I can watch it, and if I feel happy, I can watch it. I mean, I can watch it at any time and still enjoy it really, really much, even though I know it has some small flaws to it. I mean, the acting isn't the greatest, and it has some flaws, like some plot holes maybe, that, yeah, whatever. I mean, all horror fans have already talked about this movie to death, so I'm not going to say anything else. But Friday the 13th, number 2 on this list. And then you will probably ask yourselves, where the hell is that film from 1980? That has to be on your list. And yeah, it isn't. No, I'm just kidding. It actually is on my list at number 1, and it is The Shining. Once again, a film everyone already knows about. Everyone has already seen this one, even like people that aren't maybe like horror fans to begin with. Do I even need to say anything else about this? This is a masterpiece. I haven't watched the other. I mean, Stephen King did like another film or like another version of his book because he was really unhappy with this film, and then he decided to make his own like TV series or whatever. I haven't watched that, and that DVD is for some damn reason really expensive, at least over here in Sweden. But yeah, but anyway, The Shining, enough said. Number one for the 1980, the year 1980, so to say. So yeah. Oh my god, I now have talked for 15 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you still enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see if I can get to 1981 in the future as well. So yeah, and then I'm gonna work my way up, and the year that is probably gonna be the hardest is probably 1988 or 87. Some of those later 80s years I just love. I mean, I love the 80s in general when it comes to horror films, so it's pretty damn tricky to make this list. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this list might not be the same in like 1 month or like 3 months or like 1 year, because you always watch in 80s films that you haven't watched before, and they might have gotten into this list. So yeah, might put some honorable mentions down in the description that didn't make it, just to give more recommendations instead of some of these, because some of these are really mainstream, and I don't really like to talk that much about mainstream films in general, because most people probably already know about those. So yes, sort of my focus in my channel. So yeah, oh my god, now I'll talk for almost 17 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and didn't get bored, and hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.